Do you know, like they say, monkeys are pretty close to humans?
Well, when you say monkeys, you mean apes, I assume, and when you say apes, you mean chimpanzees.
Monkeys and that.
Well, no, because they're different species. They're all primates.
They've done a lot of tests and that. Like I said, we've talked about the one that went into space.
That was
we've
rubbish.
Had ones that have worked in train stations.
No.
So
Barbers, was there a barber one?
There was a barber one. He started off sweeping, didn't he? But he didn't immediately go in.
Straight into, but he worked his way up, yeah.
They
do a lot of stuff.
I've seen the salon. He was probably the top student.
But the thing is, in a way, this is linked to the one in the salon. He could cut hair, but he'd never be allowed to work on the till, right? But these tests that they've been doing now...
Why? Are they not trustworthy?
Well, they've had problems understanding money, right? But they've got one recently that they've been teaching about the value of money and showing it that, to get this money, you've got to work hard, you've got to save your money, and when it's saved
it's all bollocks.
you can do what you want with that money.
Yeah, it wouldn't happen.
At the end of the day, these monkeys aren't on that much money.
Yeah,
so,
and they wouldn't. You could never teach a monkey the value of money.
So the thing is, they've said to these monkeys, look, there's your money.
They haven't said anything
You're
to the
only
monkeys.
So
they
much
have, Rick.
money,
Please listen to the news.
but
It's the news.
It's the news.
it's important that they know how to spend that money, right? It's basic rules, really. It's what you teach a human, what you teach kids. The
So
value
invest
of money,
wisely.
Invest and all that.
Sorry, who's teaching these monkeys?
past,
Carl, stop.
Just some people and that.
But who? Where are these
The
monkeys?
monkey people.
But where are these monkeys? Where are these monkeys?
I think it's in San Francisco.
Where are these monkeys though? What are they? Are they in a shop? What are they doing? Are they in homes? What are they doing?
Just
in the zoo?
Well, probably just in like some sort of science place where science people are checking out monkeys' brains and that and seeing how they work. But they're happy. They're not.
This is different to the news at 10.
So listen.
Well, yeah, but you can't interrupt the newscasters for one thing, Rick. Please.
Sorry, go on.
So there's these monkeys, right? And they've given them some money, probably about £5, and they said, right, off you go, go shopping, see who comes back with the best. Sort of, how much can you get? Like in
Ready Steady
Cook, where they say there's a £5, go and get some food. Anyway, some came back and they were like, they hardly had anything. Right?
This is absolute shit.
No, listen.
This is bollocks.
Listen.
But one of them, right, he was away longer, to be fair.
Yeah.
Right, he cast. But they were really impressed because he sort of said, this is amazing that you've got all this. Can't believe it. Give us the receipt, right?
Oh, this is absolute
right, forget it. Forget it. No,
listen.
Forget it.
No.
This is absolute shit.
We want to hear the end.
No.
Look, hang on a minute, right? So they said, give us the receipt and that, and they looked at it, and it was all official, right? And they went through it all, and what they were really impressed by is the way that they always went for the sort of slightly older veg, where you get 2 lots for the price of one.
Right, you're absolutely...
So, and it just goes to show,
this is absolute bollocks. There's no way a chimp went shopping and knew what he was buying. I
don't know why you asked me then.
Well, it's absolute bollocks. Once again, you've made it up. You probably saw a headline on some sort of half-witted website and you're talking shit.
Right.
Just to say, if you have any monkey news for Carl that you want to hear on one of these podcasts in future weeks, then you can email Carl, or indeed with anything, at podcast@rickygervais.com.
This podcast was hosted by Positive Internet.
Can I just ask, what does hosting mean when you, in that sense?
I don't know, but the guys at Positive Internet do, because they're experts in this field, and that's why I like them.
Well, thanks very much. Join us next time when we'll I'm sure, waste another half hour of your lives. See ya.
Bye.
The Ricky Gervais Show on Guardian Unlimited.
Let's do a couple of openings.
You do it.
Well, you better say something. Okay. Well, I think you should say, welcome to Ricky Gervais Show on or whatever podcast.
I'm not on this, am I?
Yeah.
What am I doing here?
Well, just saying hello.
Hello?
No, let us do the introductions. We're doing 2 introductions in the 2 shows. Fuck me.
The Ricky Gervais Show on Guardian Unlimited.
Right, welcome again to the Ricky Gervais Show on this Guardian podcast with me, Ricky Gervais, Steve Merchant, and
Hello
of
there.
course, hello there,
Thanks.
and of course our producer Carl Pilkington.
Right.
Carl, can I ask you a question?
Go on.
I know this is what a lot of the fans are already wondering. Is there going to be some monkey news today?
There's got to be.
Of course there is.
Yeah?
Yeah.
That's
All
the
right.
question.
Well, I don't want... I'm worried because maybe this will steal your thunder. But Sarah Greer has emailed this in, once again, emailed to podcast@rickygervais.com. Chimp mauling under investigation. I know you're concerned, because this actually fuses two of our greatest features, Monkey News and Knob News, into one seamless whole.
Oh.
Investigators said they are trying to figure out how two chimpanzees that viciously attacked a visitor at an animal sanctuary escaped from their cage. This is the grim bit. The chimps chewed nose and severely mauled his genitals and limbs.
Why did they go for his genitals?
Both of them did as well.
Eh?
Both of them. Did you say two chimps?
No, you're right, yeah, it was chimpanzees too. Yeah, I don't
You
know if
see,
both
which
of them
one
went,
did it?
they just saw that they're dangling away and they
You
just
go
went,
for the nose.
Yeah.
I go for his bollocks.
And
Now,
then
what accent have they got there?
I
those
don't
chimps?
know.
Were they kind of New York gangster chimps? They're like soprano chimps.
what happened to them anyway?
What happened to what?
The two guilty monkeys.
Well, unfortunately, they were shot dead by the authorities.
You see, that annoys me a bit.
I know. Well, again,
What are you talking about? They're attacking people's gonads.
I know, but they were happy in an African jungle a couple of years ago.
That's what
Yeah,
they
but
do, isn't it?
That is what they do. That's what animals do. Animals fight. Do you remember when that bloke?
So what are you supposed to do? You're supposed to let them just wander off into the I don't know, into the local mall and maybe savage some young children, or a bucket with a face
No,
paint on
hang
it.
on.
No, all I'm saying, you don't shoot them for doing what's natural to them. They
Yes,
didn't
you
want to.
do.
Why?
If anything attacks anyone's balls,
No,
and
but why-
bollocks,
Well,
you attack them.
no. Maybe they were shot during it. That you're allowed to shoot something that's doing something. But if they were they executed or were they shot in the attack?
No, it says he shot them. Well, he shot them to death. I'm assuming he shot them to death as they were legging it off.
But why aren't they just sort of tranquilised? Where was
Why
this?
have
Was
I
this
been
in a zoo?
accused like it was my fault? Just because I happen to be reading Sarah Greer, who emailed it in, the one who should be getting a
It
bollock
just
in.
annoys me how one way it's kind of like, you know, we're trying to save the pandas, and then the next day someone's shooting them or whatever. I know it's not a panda, but all I'm saying
So
is it's double
therefore, the
standards.
whole argument falls apart. But go on.
No, but what I'm saying is, what would happen? I've talked about this before about St. George killed the last dragon, right?
No, it didn't exist.
It's the same thing though.
No, there's never been any dragons.
No.
It's a mythical creature.
Well, you don't
By
know
mythical,
that.
it means we made this up, like the unicorn.
Well,
I don't even understand. What was your point about the dragon? What's that got to do with
because
this?
I'm saying out like, why is it all right to be going around shooting all the monkeys and killing them? Because one day we're going to run out.
What are you talking about? How have you extrapolated from this one incident of a couple of testy, happy
That's what
monkeys?
I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. One incident. They only did it once. They've got a bullet
But they're
in
not
their head.
shooting around and making them extinct, are they?
If they carry on like that, they will. But
Well, it's up to the monkeys to stop attacking people's private parts.
It's
It's
But
got
that's
to be
what
a give and take here.
No,
I'm
come
sorry.
on. That monkey doesn't know why it's in a cage. It's not going, oh, this is for my own good. It's like, even if it's animal husbandry, they're not sitting there going, well, I'll tell you what, let's stay here because it's they're trying to do a nice little breeding program here, or we could get out and do what we do best: run amok, eat some bollocks, right, and have a good time. Right? They don't know what they're doing. They don't. And Carl's right. The poor little bastards get a bullet in the head.
For what?
And I'm saying, if they're attacking a human, shoot them to stop them. That's fine, okay. But if they're running away and they're, don't shoot them in the back like a coward.
This was an animal sanctuary, though. So presumably they had quite a cushy time visited. They've always got it easy. They're
But
hanging
you
around
don't-
on tyres. They got comfy chairs. They're wanking. They're going berserk. They're loving it. So you say that. I think I don't know. I just think there was something nasty. There was something a bit warped in these monkeys. I mean,
But hang on a minute. You've just answered your own question there. You said they're in a sanctuary, so they haven't had a good upbringing. So they're going to be a bit more like madder than other monkeys, aren't they? Because that's where the ill ones go, isn't it?
Sorry, what do you understand by sanctuary?
Well, I've been to one for seals.
it's not like a borstal.
Yeah, exactly. He thinks it's a borstal.
It's like scum.
That they did some bad stuff in the jungle, and they had a little monkey court, and they went send him to Borstal.
So, well, what is it then?
No, it's a monkey sanctuary where it like a haven.
Well, it's not a haven, is it? They've got a bullet in the head.
The Ricky Gervais Show on Guardian Unlimited.
Talking of eating knobs,
Yeah.
Gilly Goulden. Now Well, you saw it in I'm a Celebrity, Get Me Out of Here.
I haven't been watching it.
She popped a little kangaroo knob in the mouth, chewed it up.
What, she just found it? Did she line around?
No, it was one of the things that she had to
Oh, it
eat.
was one of the challenges.
Carol Thatcher, a daughter of one of our leaders.
Sure.
She popped a couple of bollocks in the mouth,
Oh.
chewed them up, swallowed them.
Oh.
And Jilly Goulden, there was a kangaroo penis there, dried. She couldn't even get. It was so tough, she couldn't even get through it. And then she, eventually, she eats it.
What was it, like a pepperoni?
Yeah, and she. What do you think of that, Carl?
What, eating that sort of stuff?
Yeah,
I watch it. I like those little trial bits, right?
yeah.
But what I don't think people realise is, right, it is hard eating a little kangaroo knob. Right?
Really? How do you know?
No, it's just, you think about it and you go, oh, I couldn't do that, right? But what they never mention on the TV programme, which I think takes it to the next level, right, they're eating that at like 7:30 in the morning.
Sure. Right.
Which
for
is
breakfast.
worse, innit?
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? If I was there, Ant and Dec said, right, Carl, eat the knob, I'd go, hang on a minute, give us a few hours, let me get some rice and that on my belly, and just sort of fill me up a little bit more. I'll pop back at about 6:30 this evening,
Right.
have it ready. And I'd be happier then. It's just that thing of, you've been
you don't want to eat animal genitals on an empty stomach.
So what are you saying? You could
I'm saying, like, I could eat a knob at night, but
just cut that there. We'll loop that. If any DJs are listening,
No.
just take that quote. I could eat a knob at night by Carl Pilkington. Maybe do a dance remix.
Yeah,
Just
I think maybe you're sort of a house producer and you could maybe get some kind of high energy beat going, and then we could just send that out to some of the gay clubs. I'm sure it'd be really popular.
Please, anyone send us, that looped with a nice little, funky house beat. Carl Pilkington saying I could eat a knob at night.
no, but
Go
do you
on.
know what I mean though? By that.
Not really.
Well, okay then, right. Okay. Now, I couldn't do it. I could not pop a kangaroo testicle in my mouth and chew it. It was disgusting to watch. She was eating witchetty grubs. Good on them because they were doing it. But then again, I think, well, they wanted to go in there. They knew they were up for it. So on the one hand, I think, is that admirable and is that showing sort of like good British metal, or is it, I'll do anything to get on telly for a week? I don't know. You know what I mean? I don't. Where does it stop? I thought Rebecca Lewis went too far when she gave the little pig a tug, but at least she knew where to stop.
Yeah.
She didn't,
well, I
Jenny
think it's
Gold-
obvious when you have to stop.
yeah, but
The pig tells you that.
to pop the Also, again, where's the kangaroo hopping around without a cock?
I'll tell you, here's another question, right? Bit of a spin-off with animals and that. Have you ever, right, Steve, killed a fly?
Probably, yes.
Right? Well, I was watching David Attenborough, right? He makes his money out of flies and that, doesn't he? Do you think he's ever killed one, or does he go, well, I can't kill that fly or that spider because that's how I make my money?
I don't know what the question is.
I don't know what this question is.
Like, my mum, right, she said if a fly is knocking about the house, she never kills it, she always catches it and puts it out and that, and she said she'd never kill
Who is
one.
she, Mr. Miyagi? What do you mean she catches it? How does she catch
With
it?
a pair of chopsticks.
No, she...
Rick, it's that time again. It's what everyone's waiting for. Can you do the jingle for us?
Oh, chimpanzee, that monkey news.
Right, this week, the monkey news is about, we all know, like, there's monkeys knocking about that aren't happy in this country.
Sure.
Aren't they?
It is a big problem, yeah. It's an epidemic.
So they've set up like this sanctuary place,
Okay.
where they all go. The ones that aren't happy in a zoo and what have you, it's getting them down.
They can phone a number and they'll come and pick them up.
Pop them in this house place, right? And basically, they can run riot in there.
Yeah.
They get freedom to sort of cheer themselves up. It's like, don't have a go at them. If they want to do such a thing, let them have a go and what have you. There's 3 people running this place, right? And one of them...
Sorry, where is this place for wayward chimps who don't like the zoo? What are you talking about? A house where they can do what they want?
I'm not sure where it is.
That's a surprise. Go on.
But there's this place anyway. It doesn't matter where it is, does it? At the end of the day, I'm just telling you what the problem is. We haven't got to the problem bit yet.
Go on.
I'm just building up to it, right? So these monkeys, big house and that,
PlayStation, anything they want.
gym, all that lot.
Jim.
So anyway, I'll cut to the chase, whatever. One of them wanted to mess about with the woman's breasts. Right?
Which woman's breasts?
The woman who works there.
Right.
Right. And she was like, right, pack it in, we've all had a bit of fun. You've been in the gym and everything. She obviously, got a bit excited and that. He was fired up and that, ready for some more action and that. He's trying to have a go on this woman's breast, right? She was like,
have a go.
She was like, no, you're not doing that. Pack that. The boss who's running the place was like, come on, let him have a go.
No, right, you're talking shit.
I'm telling you what, I know sometimes I step over the mark and they made
Right,
up.
so where is this place where... Well, one, where is this house where chimps are allowed to do what they want? And two, where is this place where one of the bosses, one of the human bosses, suggests to the other one, oh, and if the chimp wants to play with your tits, love, let the chimp play with his tits.
I've said before, Rick, will you please stop interrupting
No, but listen,
news?
it's all right, Steve, because what I'll do, I'll bring the link and you can put the link on the website and people can have a look at the proper story. I'm just giving it them in a headline form here. They can read the full thing.
No, you've only read the headline form.
I haven't read it. I sort of read like the first.
It was probably monkey feels a right tit, and you've extrapolated all this from that.
So anyway, right? So he's there, and he's,
so the boss says, "Yeah, you can have a go."
The boss is saying, "Let him have a go."
Come on, Rita. If monkey wants to play with nipples, let him.
So she's like, "I'm not happy with this," and he's going, "Come on, you know the rules here. We've got to cheer these monkeys up."
This is absolute.
We've made it.
Actually, no, and in the end, because she didn't allow the fella bloke sacked her, got someone else in. This isn't made up. I will put the link on the website and everyone can have a look at it. But basically...
I want to see the advert he put in the Guardian media page. I love that. Woman wanted to let chimp feel tits whenever it wants.
Well, it's all up there.
You're talking absolute shit again.
Well, we'll see.
That is no way that happened.
The Ricky Gervais Show on Guardian Unlimited.
Do you know the other week when I came up with like... a different idea of how we can sort of make the world run and that.
Can we just have a quick recap of that? Because I seem to remember it was a load of old arse.
It was ridiculous. It was he was saying that the world is overpopulated, so the system would be where people were living too long and stuff. So what happens is people live till 78. I don't know how you can enforce that, right?
Yeah.
But when they die, they've got a little baby in their stomach, like a pip in an apple, that then carries on when they die.
Right.
It wasn't a theory. It wasn't an idea. It was the ramblings of a mental case.
Someone's emailed in and said, "Oh yeah, that's pretty good."
Yeah, and okay, I'm asking you again. Was the letter written in shit?
Anyway, listen, right.
Did it say the mental home, Mars?
I've been thinking about it, right, and if we can't do that, right, if that's a no to that, right.
Well, it's not a question of whether we can do it or not.
Just saying, if that's a no, right, I've been thinking.
It is
about,
a no.
Yeah.
This is going to be brilliant.
There's a lot of weird. I mean,
you could win the Nobel Prize for this.
But listen, there is a lot of ways, isn't there, in the world that some creatures and that go about sort of moving on. If you know what I mean.
Evolution, you mean?
Yeah, there's a lot of like on that David Attenborough program that he's doing at the moment. He's always showing you little insects and what they've got to do. And there was one about a wasp, right, that had to fly about, right, for ages, looking out for a certain type of spider, right.
It lays its egg in the
When
spider.
I saw it, it whizzes down, right. It lands on its back, so that he's got to get that right. It lands on it. I don't think the spider's up for anything. Aware of this is how things move about. He's not going, I've got to look out for a wasp. So all this is like, it's got to be perfect timing. So this wasp dived down, right, sat on the back of this spider. It injects it or something with a maggot or something, right? And then that maggot then lives off the spider for a bit. The spider knows it's got a maggot in it.
No, it doesn't.
It does.
No, it doesn't.
And it's making a web for it. It goes, I've got something to look after here now. I've got responsibilities. It makes a web, right? It sort of reverses into it and puts the maggot on the web. The maggot sort of clings onto the web. Spider's there. Maggot eats the spider, and then it moves on. If I came up with that idea for like a method, you'd say that's never going to happen.
Never wake up! It's not the fact that you came up with the idea, right, for an old lady dying at 78 with a baby growing in her that then lives on. It's nonsense. It's no idea. It's like, so even if scientists thought that was the best idea in the world, how would they enforce it? Who's going to go, that's a good idea, we've never thought of that.
Yes, but what I'm saying
Get in Elsie.
Who told the wasp to look out for that spider, to go on its back, to do,
What do you mean who told the wasp? It's
you.
evolution, it's natural selection.
Yeah, but I can understand, we've chatted about it before about giraffes having a long neck, but you're talking about a wasp and a spider who
That's because
as far as
you're
I'm
attributing thought and will behind their behaviour. Behaviour in humans is linked with a free will.
Yeah, but most of what we do, say like how we have a kid at the moment, you don't just jump on the back of a woman and go, there you go, love, and then a baby pops out.
You do if you come from Bristol.
No, what I'm saying is, right, it's all, you build up to it, don't you? You have that bit of a chat and you go, right, how's it going? Yeah, and you get on and that, and then a little baby will come out.
This is the most...
Wait. Well, I want to go back to there. You have a chat, you go, all right, and then a little baby comes out. That's extraordinary.
This is amazing.
No, I'm
Man alive.
This is incredible.
I tell you, two-bit radio's gain was secondary school's loss. It really was.
What I'm saying is,
this is my first Pilgrim book. Unbelievable.
what I mean is, we all get on. What I'm saying is, at what point is a wasp ever going to have a chat with a spider or meet up with it?
I don't even understand where we are now in this conversation.
What point is a wasp going to ever have a chat with a spider? No. What world do you live in? What's in your head?
No, but...
I can't believe it. Carl, what point is a wasp ever going to have a chat with a spider?
So in some kind of weird insect nightclub, these wasps and these maggots are meeting, they're getting on. Is that how you're imagining
it? That's what I'm saying to you. What are the odds on that actually happening?
But listen. You're thinking because behaviour in lower forms of life is purely it bypasses any form of consciousness, right? There's a parasite that's like a flatworm, a platyhelminth, or it might be a nematode. It's some sort of invertebrate. Yeah, that it lays its egg. The beginning of its cycle is in a stickleback. Okay, and it literally has to change the stickleback's behaviour. Okay, because it has to get into a warm-blooded animal to complete its cycle. So what it does is this parasite makes the stickleback not flee from the shadow of a heron. So it makes the stickleback get eaten, right? So it then is in the belly of a warm-blooded animal and it can complete its life cycle. But at no point is the nematode or the platyhelminth, whatever it is, going... Slow down, there's a heron coming. Stay here. And the stickleback going, why? I don't want to stay. There's a heron. There's no conversation. It's not they get together and go, listen, I've got something that might be with us. I need to get into a heron. You like to be eaten by a heron? No, I don't. Where's this conversation with a wasp?
Yes, you do. It's got Jedi powers.
Yes, you do.
No, all I'm saying is, you know, the idea that I came up with, you're sort of saying that's a crazy
idea. It's not an idea. It's not an idea.
How many times have we heard all I'm saying is, and then such a stream of nonsense that it's blown our minds?
No, but that's all I'm saying. That, you know, what you've just explained there with the heron having to knock about and for a flea to be sat in the shade and that.
That is incredible. That translation of what I said... that sums it up for me. Yeah. He sees a headline, he reads a book. It then goes through this weird filtering system with, I imagine, the music in his head is boop, beep, boom, discordant piano.
I think the noise in Carl's head is like a fax machine. If you've ever got that at full volume.
I think it's like a Czechoslovakian cartoon from 1963. Yeah, you know what I mean? Like noises like woks. And, piano's just being hit by the elbow.
He's the only person you can give him a body of information and he strips away the facts.
But the way he said that, I talked about, clearly talked about some sort of parasite in a stickleback that makes its behaviour change so it doesn't flee the heron's shadow. He said, so there's an heron with a flea who doesn't like the shade. How did it come out? I mean...
it doesn't matter, forget that, right? But
What's your theory? What
I'm saying is I've come up with something else that I want to run by you then.
Go on then.
So you've sort of boo-booed the idea...
Boo-booed. We've boo-booed it, we have boo-booed
it. He chose a completely different bear. Yeah. It was originally Poo-Poo the bear, but now it's Boo-Boo the bear. Brilliant.
So you've said no to, you know, the old woman having a kid, right, before she dies. What about if we do it the other way, right?
Ah, go on.
Somehow, I don't know how...
A kid has an old lady?
That's what it's going to be, isn't it? A child gives birth to an old man.
No.
Right.
What I'm saying is, look the other way round.
Come on then.
So if somehow we can inject something in like a body that's just died, right?
Listen to this. Imagine this is notes.
So-
when he hands it into the Nobel people, and they go, if there's a way that we can inject something, they go, well, what? Well, I don't know the chemical formula, but something HO2.
Right. So anyway, you inject it in the temple.
He's narrowed it down to the temple.
Well, that's
Fine.
right.
Yes, we inject something.
So you inject it in.
What are you? Who are you injecting?
This old woman who's she's been ill and that she died.
So she's dead. So
Yeah,
we're bringing old people back to life. Okay, fine. That's step one. We just got to sort that out first. But fine, we'll crack that. Go on, next. So we brought people back from the dead. Fine.
Yeah, but this is a way of controlling population. Remember, they can't be having it away and having kids. This is just the way we're going to work
so
from now.
there's an old lady. So we start now. We start now as the world is now. So what happens?
You get like an old woman.
Who's dead?
Yeah.
Yep.
Inject her and that.
Inject her.
And then what happens is she sort of wakes up.
Amazing.
Right? And she works the other way. So like she might be 77.
Yep.
And then she'll have a birthday. She's 76, and she's working that way.
Right.
If you know what I mean.
Okay.
Are you with me?
No, keep it.
Because the thing is, you've got.
I'm
really scared.
Yeah.
I'm really scared. This is the maddest thing you've ever said.
Yeah.
This is madder than the old lady with the pip like an apple in her belly.
It sort of did work.
This is
No, it didn't work. It worked in your head. It's like a dream that you wake up and go, oh, I've got a great theory. And
This is it. Let me just tell you the ending, because the endings works out a bit better.
Go on.
What I'm saying is, when you die at the age of
78.
9 months,
What?
at the age of 9 months, because that's when you come out.
What do you mean when you die at the age of 9
You're
months?
not scared of dying because you're now a baby, so you don't know what's going on anyway. So there's no fear.
So you missed out a bit here. So this woman, literally gets younger and younger?
she's in her old age, Rick.
Yeah, but it doesn't matter because that's the fun part of your life, isn't it? When you're 20 and you've got all your energy and that. So before you die, you're actually having a good life rather than it being the other way around.
But does she do different stuff than she did on the way up? Because she's already lived 78 years, hasn't she? Don't forget. She was a baby once, and she grew to 78 years.
Yeah,
someone stuck a needle in her head and said, right, back you go.
No, but forget all that bit.
Forget all that bit. How do we forget that bit?
What I'm saying
So
is...
she died and she doesn't remember all her... This is a new life, is it?
Let me just leave you with this.
Right, you're talking shit. Explain yourself.
What I'm saying is, old people are scared of dying. When they're 77, they're going, oh, what's going to happen to me? Little injection in the head. When it's a baby, when it's like 1, and everybody around it's going, yeah, it's going to die soon and that. Baby hasn't got a clue. It's happy. It's playing about with its rattle or whatever.
So it loses all its memories.
That's it.
Happens. So when does it die? When it gets to 0. When it's 0 days old, it goes through.
It just dies. People know it's almost like a countdown. So the family's aware of it.
But aren't the family getting younger as well? What's happened to the family?
Forget it then. We'll leave it as it is.
No, leave it as it is, shall we?
Shall we? Can we all agree on that, guys? Now, should we agree to leave it as it is? Is that all right? Because I don't want to hear any more from the diaries of Charles Manson.
No, it's. I mean, you're a fucking maniac.
If you're a maniac and you'd like to get in touch, then please email us at podcast@rickygervais.com. Doing a bit of Christmas shopping, Rick, the other day, and I was travelling around on the tube, the London Underground, the subway system for our American friends. And, as you know, but people around the world may not be so familiar, there's a recorded voice that you sometimes get on the tube that says, mind the gap.
Oh, yeah, before you open the door.
Yeah.
Mind the gap.
And the reason is that sometimes in some stations there is a gap between the train and the platform, and obviously, theoretically you could fall down
and it's
there
different size reminder. Mind the gap. You look down, it's safe.
Just makes you stop. Seems to make sense.
Yeah.
Saw a teenager, wearing a T-shirt, don't know where he bought it. It just said... Fuck the gap.
He was tired of it.
Yeah,
he didn't want to mind the gap.
But what I like is, what's he protesting about?
I don't know.
What I mean? It's not the police or the man keeping you down. That's just good, sensible health and safety information.
That's like saying, fuck looking both ways before I cross the road.
Screw penicillin.
I know.
No, do you know what? I'm going to drink and I am going to use threshing machinery. And I don't give a damn. I love that about teenagers, that kind of screw you sort of mentality, but it's kind of blind, isn't it? It just anything's a target, anything's valid.
When I was a teenager, I think maybe 17, I had a T-shirt. I was rallying against just stuff, really. It was slightly more abstract than the Gap. I wasn't specifically against the Gap. It just said bullshit. Just in general, bullshit.
You were raging against the machine.
I would just go, yeah, people say, hey, what are you... I just open my... All right? Just bullshit.
But I assume that these forms of protest have never made any dent in anything in the world. Because I remember when there was all these protests against the war, a couple of months back, and there was one guy, so there was a huge march in London, as you know, and they did these all around the world, didn't they? But there was thousands of people in London. There was one guy, he was riding around on a 3-wheeled bike, wearing a jester's hat, blowing a horn. That was his form of protest against the war.
Was it like, what sort of horn was it?
It was one of those sort of hunting horns.
Well, he was showing him. He was saying, "This is what I believe."
Yeah.
And if that doesn't change people's opinions, I don't know what will.
But I like the idea of Bush, just about to invade Iraq, and just the news comes through from his chief of staff.
And Bush goes,
George.
What is it? What is it? What?
No, listen, seriously, we've got some information coming in from London.
Go on.
I know you're thinking of invading Iraq.
Definitely,
but,
yeah, why?
Well, let's just think about it, because there's a guy riding around on a 3-wheeled bike.
Oh.
He's not got the regular 2, he's gone for 3 wheels. So
okay, well listen, what's he wearing? What's he wearing on his head?
He's wearing he's wearing a jester's hat.
Okay, no, well, calm down. It's not that bad. It's not going to change my opinion about.
He's blowing a horn.
Okay, get the troops out. Get the troops out now. What do they think
pointless.
they're doing?
You've got to get involved in the... I saw a girl once again, a teenage girl. I was behind her on the tube, and she had this bag, like a rucksack, and it was kind of black, and it had painted in Tipex. It had a picture of George Bush, but he was kind of in the sights of a rifle, you know, and it sort of said "Stop the War," and it had a Barbie's head, but it was severed, and the hair was scraped back, and she'd been made up to look kind of devilish, and there was sort of CND signs, and there was, you know, "No to war" and all this, and and I sort of wanted to tap her on the shoulder and say, are you actually getting involved in stopping the war, or have you been working mainly on this bag?
Yeah,
because that must have taken you at least a couple of days. You could have been writing emails, you could have been getting a petition going.
Oh dear,
Carl, have you ever been into that sort of teenage rebellion, teenage protest?
Stop stuff going on that.
Yeah, or just, you know, making your views heard.
I don't really like people knowing what I'm thinking and that.
Right.
There's no way anyone can know what you're thinking.
No, but
even
is
with
that why you're doing a radio
experimentation.
show where you spout off your nonsense ideas every week?
No, but what I mean is...
A team of surgeons could fiddle around in your head for a couple of days and they still wouldn't know what you were thinking.
No,
I know what you're thinking. I know what you're thinking. Exactly. You're thinking of... you're thinking, could a monkey ever be president? At this moment, aren't you?
But I don't like anyone that... Like, all those badges that you're talking about, like, you know, Save the Whale and all that... I don't like the idea that when I get on a tube and someone sees that, they sort of know that I want to save the whale. I don't like people knowing, even to the point of...
It gives you a disadvantage in life, doesn't it?
But just knowing stuff like when you get on a tube and say if you've been shopping, right, and you've had to buy an ironing board, I hate it that people sort of look at what you've got and go, oh, he's doing some ironing.
Hey, that's got to be rare. I mean, you can't have bought more than 5 or 6 ironing boards in your adult
life.
life.
I don't mean just ironing boards. I mean, like, anything big.